This 16mm film projector carries with it the history of how Hollywood movies met Outport, Newfoundland. It's about 72 years old, and it's lived at the Rooms for decades now. But long ago, it belonged to a movie-addicted Anglican minister.
My name is Elizabeth Batstone, but my given name when I was born was Bradbrook, and my father was the Reverend Sidney Bradbrook. People, when they hear the word minister, people have a visual in their mind already of somebody who's very serious, and that's just the opposite of what my father was. One of his most lasting, I'm going to say addictions, he only had one, and that was the movies.
Sidney Bradbrook played amateur movie critic in his diaries. He kept notes of just about every movie he saw in the 1920s and 30s, from silent movies to Hollywood musicals. But when he became an Anglican minister in the Fortune Bay area, based out of Belorem, his movie addiction met 1940s Newfoundland reality. There were no movie theaters and not even electricity.
In his ministry, he served only in the outports of Newfoundland. He had 19 places that he was responsible for going, only by boat, no road connections.
Around 1952, Liz says her dad took steps to end his movie drought. On a trip to St. John's, he met up with a friend who happened to be in the movie projector business.
My name is Andy Jones. My dad was Michael Jones. So what Dad did was he would go, get on a boat and go from outport to outport. He would bring a projector with him. It was called the Victor projector.
Michael Jones would make a sales pitch to the local priest or minister to let him show one movie in the parish hall with the church keeping the proceeds, and if they wanted afterwards, they could buy a projector.
People would just come out of the woodwork from everywhere to see a movie. They'd never seen a movie before.
Michael Jones started selling Victor projectors out of a storefront in St. John's. Sidney Bradbrook bought one and brought it home to Belorem, where his wife Mary was not impressed.
I heard her say with a tone of disbelief, "You bought what? We don't even have electricity here, Sidney. And the cost?" And you know, I don't remember what he said, but whatever it was, Mom gasped. And he said, "But I've got a plan, Mary." And he did. He did have a plan.
Sidney brought the projector along on his rounds of the parish, making sure everyone knew there'd be a movie, but only when Mass was done.
If you didn't go to church, you weren't allowed to go to the movie. 10 cents. 10 cents is what it cost in Belorem. In the smaller places where money was even scarcer, it was a nickel.
Liz says her dad paid off the projector within a year, showing all the classics.
The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love.
Singing in the Rain, The Snows of Kilimanjaro, High Noon. They were just such wonderful treats for people to see. They not only got entertainment, but they got an education. They were exposed to places in the world and ways of life, things that were totally foreign to their own experience.
Liz held on to the projector long after her dad died, along with the cover her mother knit for it to keep it safe on its Fortune Bay boat rides. Eventually, she donated all of it to the Rooms, where it still is today. Liz and Andy bonded over email about their dad's shared love of the movies. They've never met before now. Liz came home to St. John's to visit family, and the two decided to get together at the Rooms, fire up her dad's projector, and bring a little bit of outport history and family memories back to life.
The grand big trees, they play with the wind.
For me, it was very emotional. I was a little bit surprised, actually, seeing this projector with the cover on it that my mother had made all those years ago. And I also felt very emotional to do this with Andy. His father and my father, they cooked up this insane scheme, and it was really special to do that together.
You know, people buy something nowadays and it lasts 10 years. And this machine started up, like it's 70 years old. And it was obviously well taken care of by Reverend Bradbrook. And was serviced.
It wasn't mollycoddled, I can tell you. It was all over the place in the Fortune Bay area. So
Liz is using her dad's diaries to write a book, with the story of the projector taking up one chapter. It's a book she hopes could become a movie one day, a fitting tribute to a man who shared his love of the movies with Outport, Newfoundland.